I think that's fine. Look, we were disappointed in some of the pace at which the FBI got information to us and some of the things relative to the FISA court. But Chris Wray's not spying on people like the Obama Comey FBI did. So I think that's fine that Mr. Wray is going to stay on. Like I said, over the last couple of years when we were doing these investigations, we'd appreciated getting information from Mr. Wray in a much more timely fashion. I mean, after all, it took Rick Grinnell to release the transcripts for us to learn that there was never a proper predicate for launching the whole Trump-Russia investigation. Why we couldn't get that from the FBI ahead of that time, I do not know. But I think, overall, I think this is it's probably good that President Biden is keeping Chris Wray in that position.
Yeah, FBI has a lot on its plate right now. Perhaps some continuity there might be the best thing. All right, so let's tell us a little bit more about what we can expect to see. Are we ever going to hear anything else about Hunter Biden? Is this a priority for you? Obviously, Speaker Pelosi controls the floor of the House, and Mitch McConnell doesn't really want to push this. So where is this going to go?
Yeah, I don't know, but I think what this really does, John, is just underscore what drives Americans so crazy, and that's this double standard. I mean, there's one set of rules for Republicans, a different set for the Democrats, one set of rules for the Trump family, different set of rules, it seems like, for the Biden family. We can have Lois Lerner and the IRS target conservatives a few years ago. Nothing happens to Lois Lerner. We can have the FBI spy on President Trump's campaign and 4 other American citizens. Nothing happens there. Well, maybe the best example is more recent. And John, think about this. On January 6, 2017, the Democrats objected to 11 states, but then they accuse us on January 6, 2021, they accuse us of trying to overturn an election when we object to 6, where there were real problems like Pennsylvania. So the double standard, I mean, think about this. On January 6, 2017, the Democrat chair of the Rules Committee was the very first objector. And guess which state he objected to? Alabama.
Right.
I mean, come on. No one in 2016 thought, Secretary Clinton won Alabama. Everyone knew he won it by like 30, 30
Congressman,
points. So they can do that, but we can't object to Pennsylvania, where they just unilaterally changed the rules, went around the legislature in an unconstitutional fashion. So this double standard, I see it so plainly.
And the pushback from the other side is always, look, in Pennsylvania, for example, in the federal court there, they didn't pick up the evidence, and Rudy Giuliani didn't present the evidence in Pennsylvania. I see your point, though, also too, about the challenges, and that's true. Democrats certainly did challenge the election, but at the same time, 11 states. But the thing is that didn't happen after that was the riot on Capitol Hill, and they're using that now to certainly shade this as a different.
And that was tragic. It was terrible. It was as wrong could be. And just like your previous guest, and you were talking about, the people who did those terrible things need to be held to account and punished to the fullest extent of the law. We all agree with that. But they were saying that just the fact that we objected, that was somehow wrong. Like, you guys did 11 states and you objected to Alabama, for goodness sakes, when there was no evidence whatsoever. We had all kinds of strong evidence that they changed the rules for the election, changed the time, place, and manner of the election in Pennsylvania, for example, without the legislature approving that, which is a direct violation of the Constitution. And when you get back to the Biden issue, the double standard, think of the Trump family were accused of half of this. Hunter Biden took $1 million from a Ukrainian company, took $3 million from a Russian billionaire, took $4 million from a company tied to the Chinese Communist Party, and that's fine. No investigation, nothing. No talk about it before the election when everyone in this town knew about it. I'm convinced so many reporters knew that he was already under investigation by the FBI at that time. So that double standard is what drives the American people crazy, and we got to get rid of that, because it's supposed to be equal treatment under the law.
It's supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be like that. A lot of people say, times the pandemic, other things might be a bigger priority, but we do see what the new administration priorities seem to be, and it's not the pandemic, at least right now, because we're hearing you guys might not get a bill until March.
Yeah, who knows? We're not even coming back to session next week, is what we've now heard. So how can you do the people's work if you're not even here doing the people's work?